What's going on, YouTube? OGs, Nitro RCs here, coming at you again from the Nitro Corner. I believe this is episode number 11, I think, possibly. Yeah, we just got done doing the one with putting the red springs on the three boys, and well, two boys, one already had them, and stuff like that. Now I'm going to dive off into this this XL build, this big boy build right here. And I said I wanted to get at least the transmission, the engine plate, and the radio box with servos into the chassis tonight, at least. I'm going to shoot for an hour. Not only does my battery die in an hour, and my GoPro usually, I have a timer up here where I can see this. So we're going to shoot for an hour. Whatever happens in an hour, guys, that's where we're going to shut it down at, and we're going to go from there. So we're going to try getting as much accomplished quickly as we can. This is a pretty fast process. This usually doesn't take too long. Putting up these things together, yeah, getting quick at it isn't the word, but it gets pretty easy as far as that goes. Pretty easy. So we'll try to get everything out here that we're gonna need to make this happen. Make it happen, Captain. Yeah, linkages, radio boxes. I might as well slap a gas tank on if we're going all that far. We're not doing no shock work or anything like that, but we do need an engine plate to mount up. And as much as I'd love to use this roll cage, that's not going to be possible because the frame is 2 inches longer. So this is kind of not going to be worth anything right here. And if I think about putting the engine in right now, we have to put flywheel and clutches and all that kind of stuff in there too, so that might not happen tonight either. But the transmission, the radio box, and the servos will hopefully go in. So that's what we're shooting for as far as right now. Yeah, try that a little bit better, and we'll see what it looks like when I get this box on the table. So I'm doing no kind of linkages for the front or rear end at the moment. We're going to save all that stuff. Don't need our grab bars or anything. Well, we can put this on there. The grab bar can go on the transmission at least, even though we're not going to have a safety protector over the head, but we're not going to be doing any of that stupid shit right now at the moment anyway, guys. So we're just going to try getting the basic stuff done right here. All right, let me get this over here. Let me get my radio back over here. That's got to go in my pack for tomorrow, because tomorrow is jump day. Let me reach down in here so I can find my box of nuts and bolts, which is right here. All right. So back to what I'm trying to do here. Truck over there, all out of the way. Nuts and bolts is right here. Mainly what we're going to be needing is a lot of these and so forth like that. So we need a magnetic tray, always comes in handy. We are going to need a bunch of these because these are basically what everything starts out with. So we'll just drop some of those in there for right now. The rest of them will go back in the box, except for that one that wanted to go down on the floor. You know how it is, guys. You gotta drop something on the floor, or it's not a complete OG Nitro RC's video. So yeah, there goes that. And I'm gonna need. Talked about the motor pins because we might not be able to put the motor in because that's gonna take flywheel and clutches and all that stuff to get that going. So we might have to hold off on that. All we need for the transmission and radio box though are these screws like this, and gas tank and stuff will strap on. We'll need all of our plastics and stuff for the sides, so we'll have to get those too. We'll have to dig all that out as well, and everything else I think is kind of self-explanatory. So put everything back up on here and find this Phillips screwdriver. Let's get the fastening down. As we talked about before, if you haven't put one of these together before, or even dove into one deep enough to know, the truck is basically built around the transmission. You guys were part of my crew when I built the 3-speeds going through. This is the first one that I did. This one has a 47 tooth on it, which is what we want. And it's as small as a spur gear as I have right now. So it's basically gonna have to do. And yeah, we'll be able to do all of this right now. So let's at least get something bolted down so it looks like we know what we're doing, guys. Let's at least do that. Wind's been blowing all day here. It still sounds like it's raining out there right now, but it's not. It's just all the leaves rustling because everything's dying off, fellas. Everything's dying off. But anywho, before I jump the gun on all this conversation when I dove in with the intro here, how are you guys doing tonight? How are you guys doing tonight? Hope you're doing good. Hope you had a good Wednesday. Tomorrow's the big Thursday. Tomorrow I plan on going and running my trucks. I'm going to run 3 of them. So that's going to be fun times. I got to finish breaking in the paintball truck with the new Dynamite 28 in it and the new red springs on it. And I'm going to run the problem truck that we just got the 3-speed in and got that kind of tuned up pretty good. So it's running halfway okay. Oh, that's not good. These screws are stripped off. Longer on these if I have longer. There it is. But yeah, that's my plans for tomorrow. Burn up some fuel. Buy some time till Friday and Saturday to get here. So see if my new toy gets here or not. That's gonna have to do, I guess. It's good as it's gonna get. This is where you get to look down these chassis plates and see if they're straight or if they're bent. And these aren't the straightest in the world. So hopefully they square up a little bit. But they were traded to me, so you know, what can you do? Literally, what can you do? You know, you just go with the flow. And we get a couple longer ones out here for these because I'm going through the side plate and then I'm going also through the handle. And since basically these screws are all the same, the Savages are all the same. Yes, they are. But your XL chassis plates are 3 mils thick. They're considerably thicker than your standard 25 chassis, which is mostly what I play with. I got a few X's, yes, but Savage 25s have been my wheelhouse for decades. My favorite truck. No reason to change. No reason to run anything else. I know what they can do and I know what they can't do. So they've always been at the top of my selection. At least it looks like it kind of looks like something now, guys. It's got a transmission in it and a grab bar. Better than nothing. I guess I could mount the motor blade, engine plate, whatever. We're not having that conversation tonight. Well, I could mount this. Since the engine just needs to be mounted on anyway, so we'll probably do that just to get this fastened down in here and to get it in place, because it doesn't really matter. It does not matter one bit, guys. No, it does not. Plus it'll help tighten this up just a wee bit like that, because these set right down in here like that. It's supposed to anyway. This one sits right down in there like this, nice and flush. You guys can see that. This butts right up in there, sets like it's supposed to. The tails that bolt on to the transmission. That's the only way this plate marries to the transmission, is those 2 bolts, those 2 screws right there on the bottom. So you fasten this down like that. You do the same with this one. It's a little tedious because things want to fall around. person to be wrenching. You can't see what I'm doing over here, but anywho, there's that. This is a little springy, so that's interesting. Hopefully that doesn't cause any kind of problems, because yeah, that's where it sets down at. It's a little springy. I didn't think it was supposed to be like that. Almost like it's bent, like the motor, the engine plate's bent. Is almost what it acts like when you let off it. It looks a lot more truer, a lot more straight. See, it looks straight just the way it is, right, guys? You see that? Try to get it lined up right for you. There. See how this looks nice and straight? And then when you press this down to where it needs to go, so you can bolt it in, looks a little funky. But we'll strap it in anyway and see what happens. We'll see what happens with it, guys. We'll see. And I'm gonna see what if I have to use Allen screws, or if I can get away with using the old school ones. The black Allen or black Phillip head ones are the ones I prefer to use. But my hardware is getting so slim, guys. Which is kind of hard to imagine because I don't know where all my hardware went, because I had 10 Savages at one time, 10 of them. And I took them apart, which means I should, I've only sold one truck. This is good, guys. So I should have all the hardware from all my trucks, but I don't. Okay, this is weird. Like I said, it doesn't seem right. This isn't wanting to screw in here right now. So let's loosen this one up. Put the one in the front end first. Yeah, see, it doesn't want to line up. And I'll go through all this, guys, and I won't know if anything's bent or if anything's not right until I put the engine in here. And after I put the engine in here, if there's anything that's kittywampus or not lined up perfectly straight, it's going to affect how it lines up with the spur gear. And that's when you'll know you got a problem. And then all you can do is take it all back apart again. To go in at an angle. It still doesn't like it, guys. It doesn't like it. No matter how much I pinch on this, it doesn't like it. Okay. And you're like, why aren't you putting it in with the driver? Well, situation like this, to where these didn't want to line up right, if I'd have ran them in there with that impact driver, it might have caused some problems. Yeah, you can see where these chassis plates are a little bit not straight, guys. A little bit not straight. I'm not real happy with that. But what can you do, you know? What can you do? They'll be alright. They'll be alright. You know, as much as you hate to say it, once you get them a certain tight, once you get them tight, everything kind of lines up. So we'll hopefully the screws and stuff will keep everything in place for us. And our radio box, just like that. Slide that right down in there, and we go back to using the little small screws again and getting the holes lined up right. Like that. Can't forget that this motor hanger has to go on there, and since I'm using the aftermarket pipe, I have to use this type of frame button, because it's got the nipple on it that fits into that hole, and then the screw goes through the hole below it. So it's going to sit under something like that, if you can imagine that, and then it's going to screw in from the back and hold it in place. This has got to be done before any more of the box gets added on, servos and all that. Otherwise, you'll never get to that little screw. So yeah. So put this, put that like that, because the hanger holes are kind of at an angle. Right now the hanger holes are going up and down, and we're going to want them at a little bit of an angle. Actually, it's going to have to be anyway, because that's how that screw fits in there. And that screw goes right in this bottom hole, which you guys are not going to be able to see. So you can imagine me trying to put this in here with the servos and everything else in here. See that? So that's that, guys. You see that? Yeah, that's where it's at. Right there. That's tight now. And there's the button. Right there. Snug it down the best we can. And then there's our hanger hole, which is going straight up and down. Just a hanger will drop in there like that, and then go back to the exhaust pipe. That's how that's going to ride out. So now we find the other holes in the radio box. So it's better to do one side before you move to the other side, because if you get one side done, the other side will be there. Just like that, guys. Just like that. I don't know what the hell's coming out of there wet. We got fluid in there or what? And then you come over here to this side. That's a dead plastic on it from a box. Everything, anything you get that's got a that's plastic is going to be stripped out, guys. So just run the screws in the best you can and try to get them halfway tight. Just even if it's fingertip tight like that, that's better than nothing. And there you go. See how quick and easy that was? Transmissions in, motor plates in, radio boxes in, and we work around this. So when it comes time to put the front and the rear end in, it won't be so bad. All we'll have to do is we might have enough playback here to open this up to get the rear end in here, and we might have enough play up front. If not, we just loosen this one up and the other side up, open that up, slide the front end in, and then we're good to go. But this is also where you have to, when you're working on your servos and you're putting your servos in here, you have to be mindful, because your bell crank, your steering crank, has to go on the bottom of this. And here's your steering crank right here. Here's your bell crank with your servo arm on it. That'll go in just like this. That's exactly how that's going to fit in there. Boom, boom. Just like that. But you go in from the top of the radio box to screw it in, to hold it in place. So your radio box has to come out. And right down in here, you have the two holes. Let me see here. Got one hole here, one hole over here. These two holes right here are what hold those two screws in on the top. That one and that one. So throttle side, steering side. And your servo saver goes on the steering side, just like that. So if you turn this over, it's going to be sitting like this. That's how it's going to be in there, about like that. So we take the two screws out of the top. And I mean, guys that use Loctite on this, I don't like to, because as you see right now, the whole thing's wanting to turn for no reason whatsoever, and they shouldn't be. The screws should be coming right out by themselves, and they're not. So that's what the problem with Loctite causes on these. Yeah, see, it's just unscrewing from the bottom of it. It's wanting to be a pain in the ass right now, guys. So, little channel locks. And we're going to try grabbing a hold of this and turning this. Like that. Now that one's loose. And we'll grab a hold of this bottom one. It's not going to work. Loosen it up a little bit so we can grab a hold of it. It's not loose enough. There we go. Now see if we can grab a hold of it again. Like that. There. And there's little bitty plastic washers in here to hold these things in place, guys. So be mindful of when you're taking stuff apart of where it goes and you would put it back together. Somebody says, well, I get confused because I don't know where stuff goes. Well, just one thing at a time. That's how you conquer that. One thing at a time. So this is going to go just like that. That's exactly how that's going to go, guys. And what we'll do is you flip it over. Put these screws in the holes in the battery box that I showed you. This is the easy way to do this. You put them right through there like that. They pop out the bottom. You guys can see that. Now I'm going to hold this up here so it marries right to it. Like that. Just like this, guys. I'm trying to hold this so you guys can see it. I don't even know if you can see it or not. That's why I'm fumbling with this. Just like this. Now I'm screwing this sucker in here. Yeah. That one's attached. You see that? Okay. And this is your servo, your steering arms, that your steering linkage attaches to. So you take your other screw, just like we did the first side. Let's take this radio bar off here. We don't need this on here right now at the moment. There we go. Okay, there's that. Let me drop this one down in this hole. Like that. Okay, now this one's over here too, just like the first one was. I'm going to hold this up here. Just like that. Let's take a gander at everything, make sure everything's kind of tight, the way it's supposed to be. See how much separation we have in there. It's not even close to being tight, guys. So, got a lot of room to make up here. A lot of room to make up, guys. Tighten these down to hold it in place is all we're doing, fellas. Just like that, to make up the room. And you come over here to your main ones inside, and you draw these up. Right now it's sucking everything up into place like it's supposed to be. You see you still got, you see that? You got about 1/8 of an inch to go. Should be getting close. It's not turning the screw too, and it's turning the bottom one too. So that's not helping you none, because it's turning this one while it's turning the top one. So what you try to do is you try to put another another screwdriver, another Phillips head in here if you have one of that size, and you go through the bottom to the top. Easier with a bigger Phillips head, just like this one. So we'll do the big Phillips head on the inside, right there. We'll put the little one on the outside and crank. There we go. Now the inside one is tight, the outside one is loose. We'll do the same thing on the other end. Screwdriver, and tighten it up, just like that. Good to go. Servo savers on, top plate's tight, everything's into where it's supposed to be. These are nice and snug on the inside, because if you crank down on them right now, you're just turning all the screws, you're turning the ones on the bottom too. So that's good. Put that back. Hold on, guys. Be right back. Okay, guys, we're back. Now let me put this radio strap on here. Get this thing fastened down. Blah blah blah. Make sure everything's gonna set good, which it is. Okay, we're good to go. Now let's see about getting these servos in here real quick. How much work this is gonna require. These are brand new. And I don't know what hardware I'm going to need with these yet. I should be able to use my standard servo screws, which I'm hoping. Yeah, these should work just fine. So we're going to get into those in a minute. 42 and 40. So this is the steering one, the one we wanted to use for steering anyway. Okay, so we know the steering wheel goes over here. So, like that. And let's see here. This is where the horn's going to be. So this servo has to go this way, just like that, guys. Can't go the other way because the horn's not long enough for it. See? So it's got to go this way. So let's get this in here. Let's get it in here, fellas. Trying to do as much of this you guys can see what's happening, but it's kind of hard to do when you gotta thread this stuff through holes and blah 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 and all that crap. It ain't too awful easy. It's really not. Every once in a while you get lucky like that. So there's this, and this, and this, and this, and that's going to drop down in there. Nothing up here, guys. This ain't one to sit down in there right now. Sometimes they don't want to sit down in there because the way the cords are bent, and this one's doing that right now. It's not wanting to sit down in there because of the way the cord's bent. So let's check things out real quick, boys. Because see, it's got this huge rubber nipple on it, and it's not wanting to find that pocket down there too good because, well, technically it's just a good tight fit. That's basically what's going on. So we need to try to figure out how to get this down in here. So it sets down in there, or I'm just going to have to force it down in there, which is probably what I'm going to have to do. And Hope I don't wreck the wires. Hope I don't wreck the wires. Because this sucker does not want to go down in there. Yeah. I believe that's it. Yes. Right there. The nipple popped out. So we're good. That's okay now. And every time we get our horn on there and go across and connect onto it, it'll be all good and gravy. Alright, so we're in. Now we just need our 4 little screws to hold this thing in place. And I like using the ones that come out of the old ones because they work really good. These have the big fat heads on them, kind of like a built-in washer on them. So they take up more room in there. They're just a good little screw. Good little screw, guys. We all like a good little screw. So there's that. And we'll put that down in there. Snug it. Don't tighten it. Snug it. Because we still got more to seat. We don't need anything pushing and pulling on each other. Push it around. Make sure it's square and it's all straight. Look at it, make sure it's, even if your chassis is bent, like this one is a little bit, make sure it's at least straight in the box, as straight as you can get it in the box anyway. So that'll line up your zero position a lot better. Because when you go to zero off this servo, that's going to be important. Okay, there's that and that. There's 3 in, fellas. And this is where you really got to chill, guys. You got to chill on this part right here. Because, I mean, the plastic in here is so thin. And yes, we're running a coarse thread in there, but still. I mean, right? That's tight. And, you know, that's tight. And that's tight. These are all fingertip tight. That's all you need. See, that's almost strippable. That almost wants to strip right now. Like Bug 404 would say, click, you know, and click your torque wrench. That's all you need for that. We'll worry about the linkage later on. We're not going to worry about the linkage right now. Right now, we're just trying to run wires. That's what we're after right now, guys. Trying to run wires. This is hard enough as it is because of the different sizes and servos and wires and harnesses and so forth like that. Everything's a little iffy sometimes. A little iffy. And this is where you figure out that your servo needs to be up here and not back here. Quit. Not back here or up here. You need to find out where it needs to ride at. So take your linkage, and about the only good point of reference that you have on this is you can fasten this down on here just like this. I do have one screw in here which needs to come out. Like that. Okay. And the time you whip this around, because your throttle is going to be back here like that. So you need to be like this. Bam. Just like that. See that? You always got to remember you got one that goes behind it and one that goes in front of it. One that goes in front of it is your brake arm, and one that goes behind it is your throttle linkage. Just like that. So now you take your screw that was holding your throttle linkage bracket on right there. You put this in here, you do this. And again, you're fastening down plastic, guys. You're not building a house, so there's no sense in getting carried away with it. All you're going to do is strip things out and make it really hard on your truck. So that's all you're going to do with that. You can always go back and tighten things up a little bit later on. But if you go past that point of no return right now, there's no helping it. And then basically you either got to go to a bigger screw, which is kind of hard to do because all these holes are a certain size, so you can only go so big. And going longer, it's not going to do you no good because you're only tapping through 1/8 of an inch of plastic. So you're kind of screwed without replacing the whole piece. So it's better just to, hey, go easy on it, muscles. Go easy on it. Get that brake arm in there, kind of like at a 90, sort of. Depends on what your preference is when you come to crank that sucker down. Nitro Pup's back there eating biscuits, crunching away. He's been eating all day. Wintertime's coming. You can tell he's wanting to fatten up. He was letting me know he was hungry today, and he never does that. But now back to what I was saying. You see where the linkage is at, guys? This is about where this is going to be riding at when it's in the truck. Guarantee it. This is about the position of it right there. So to where the servo you thought was going to be up here towards the front, it's too far away. It's going to be towards the back. But you can kind of almost always guarantee, because why I say that is because these wires are going to go through this hole right here in the back of the box. And the reason why I say you can almost guarantee to always remember that is because it is a pain in the ass to get that wire through there, which you're going to watch me experience here in just a second. Might even be a little cussing involved, guys. Could be possibly a little cussing involved. We don't know yet. Because it has to go through the hole in the bottom and come out of the main box pocket right here. There's a little hole down in there that you guys will never be able to see. But if you guys have put these together yourself, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is about to get rough, fellas. It's about to get rough. It's about to get so rough that you almost want to take the linkage back off like I'm going to, because right now it's in the way. So we are going to undo all of this. There's only 2 screws. That one and this one. Actually, we're going to leave that one mounted, fellas. We're going to take the one off the top. We're going to take this one off. The swing arm. Boom, just like that. So take all this off and set this over here on the side. Now, back to this nightmare before Christmas. That goes like that. And then you have to turn this over and fetch this through this hole at a stupid degree of an angle. And once you get it through there, you have to very carefully turn it over and see if you can see it, to grab it with a pair of needle nose pliers and pull it the rest of the way through. And you guys are thinking, NOG, that went in pretty easy. You're making it sound like it's got a damn nightmare. You know what, guys? I got 1,000% lucky just now. And I'm not even gonna lie about that. That was pure luck. Pure luck. I figured for sure, me being on camera right now, yeah, it was gonna turn into a 3-day event. For sure. But it's still funky, because you want your wires to be all straight. You gotta be neat. You don't want any bends, no crinks in there. Gotta make sure everything's copacetic, going the way that it's supposed to go, which it might not do, and this one's not gonna do it. It's already twisting up. So get our pliers, pull this thing back out, and we might have to undo the whole thing to get this to lay down in there flat, which is no big deal. We got it in there once, we can do it again. But there's that, and we twist it, and twist it again, and again, and again, and again. And now, this is the way this wire has to go in here. But just like that. There's that. And like that. Now it's straight. Now it's the way it's supposed to be. So take our little servo screws. And just like we did on the other one, fellas, don't get carried away. Like the Bug 404 would say. cat for a young buck. He's a cool guy. I like him a lot. We have a lot of the same views. He doesn't give a shit about as much as I don't give a shit. It's hard to start giving shits when you don't give shits. It's just pretty plain and simple. But I like him. He's a cool cat. If you guys don't know who I'm talking about, he's a Canadian RC guy, and this man has some incredible knowledge on RC cars. I'm telling you right now. I've been in this game. I started when I was 17, 18 years old. I bought my first Tycos from Radio Shack and all that kind of cool stuff. And so that was in 88. So 98 to 2008 to 2018. And then here we are 6 years later. That's 36 years. 36 years I've been dabbing in this stuff. 20 years of pretty good seriousness. But yeah. And he impresses the shit out of me. He talks about stuff and explains stuff and teaches people stuff that I've been around some pro racers. I mean, straight up legit, pro racers. And they don't talk about the stuff he talks about. The tuning ability and the way engines work and processes and stuff like that. And he's just a wealth of knowledge. His name is Luke. That's all I'll say about that. He's a friend of mine, and he goes by the Bug 404. You look him up, you will not be disappointed. You can sit back and watch him all day long and just go to shake your head. He teaches you everything from right down to how to make your own fuel, 0% nitro, and you'll watch his cars run on it perfectly fine, and how to mix it up for a certain oil percentage and what to do, and it's all safe and legit. And it's like, dude, he's crazy. He's a cool cat. He's a cool cat. Love him. I like guys like that are straight up knowledgeable, that ain't on here talking shit. They ain't on here trying to impress nobody. Yeah, he's got some hellified followers. He's got like 7,000 subs. He's been doing this for 12 years or so. But yeah, he's not like the rest of these fake little punk bitches on here. Guys that get on here and want to talk about this, or want to talk about that, or and don't have a clue. He is legit, knows what he's talking about. And if he doesn't know, he'll find out. I asked him a question one day about something that somebody asked me about, and I've seen them before, but I didn't know what they were for. And they were I'll tell you right now, they were the cooling line, little things, filters that you see go on cooling lines, on your fuel lines to keep them cool, supposedly, whatever the hell that is. They don't do shit. More of a just money gimmick, and stuff like that. But anywho, and I sent him one. I'm like, bro, I've never seen anything like this in this shape or color. What the hell is this about? He says, I don't know. And then later on, about 15 minutes later, he gave me a detailed description of what it was, because he was curious about it too. And when he found out, he made sure I knew. And then I knew exactly what it was, because he told me. So it was, money in the bank. If he said it, it was legit in my book. But yeah, Bug 404, if you get a chance, look him up. Cool cat. He's cooler than the other side of the pillow. No nonsense mofo. And he's a good guy. Good guy. He's a Canadian fella. A lot of cool Canadian cats up there. I only know a couple of them, but I imagine there's a whole shit ton of them up there. But the ones I know are straight up cool dudes. Alright, that's on. We got the servo in play. We're gonna pull this brake forward about there, and we don't even know what the 0 point is, but boom, right there. We're gonna take this, that's it right there, and then we're gonna drop this screw down the top of here, and hopefully this is a rough thread. No, it's gonna be a fine thread. I know it's gonna be a fine thread. I'm not even gonna do that, because that's a metal. These are metal geared. Yes, they are metal cased, metal geared. So this is where we have to attempt to take out one of these. Hopefully, they have them in here. And yeah, use one of these, even though these all look to be coarse threads, except that little bitty one right there, which looks extremely too small to even remotely do what I want it to do. I need a big long sucker. Look at the size of that one. There's no way that's going through that servo saver and all of that and hitting that core plug. No. Nope. I knew that wasn't going to happen. So that bag out. Those are all big negative Ghost Riders. Let's see what else we don't have in here we can use. Oh, here's one here. That's an Allen screw in here, but I bet you it's the same damn thing. And I know those are too small. That's not going to do nothing. Let's pop this back off here first for a second, guys. Yeah. See, that's not going to work either. These are, and I know they're fine thread. They're metal. I don't know what that was just fell out, but we'll look for it. Yeah, those are fine thread. Something just fell in my lap here. Oh, it was the linkage. Or some linkage. Yeah, this linkage. What the hell? How'd they get off there? There. That's the right side? Yeah, that's the right side. Okay. The top or the bottom? I'm going to try to put it on top. That's what we're going to do. We might have to flip this up. No, that's not it. It goes on the bottom. I know you guys are seeing this flashing light in the camera because I know this one blinks. Alright, so onward. These are all too small. And that's metal, 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 metal. And these are metal, metal, metal. There's a big one. It's probably too long. Yes, it probably is. Oh. What am I going to do with that? And why do I need that over there? I don't need that over there either. Is that even close? Didn't sit down on there like it did the last time. Yeah. Well, that one works, but it's a hell of long. Oh, it's a hell of too long. So, what I need to do, I don't know why they would have gave me these for if none of these worked, because all these horns are what came with these servos. They should have gave me definitely one that would work. And if that's the one that works, it's 5.5 country miles. Too long. Which means, oh God. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Alright, guys. What I did was I got my little tray over here and I dumped all these screws out and my misfit toys, and I found a couple of them. This one right here looked really promising. The only problem is it was a little bit, it's not too short, but I'd like a frog hair longer. I mean a smidgen, 1/16 of an inch longer. So then I found this one, which is really nice. And this one is even longer, but it's too long, I believe. Because now we're getting up to almost the length of the other one. So yeah, I think that one's too long. We can try it though. I'm almost guaranteeing it's too long. Yeah, it's gonna be too long. Yep, right there, bottomed out. So the shorter one will work. I'm not gonna Loctite it. I do not Loctite anything that goes down in these servos or anything like that. See, it's perfectly capped out. The little cap fits right down in that servo horn, just right. See that? So a little closer so you can see that. See that? So that fits right down in there. Takes up that whole room. That's nice. It's made for it, guys. So we tighten that down, and it's like click. When you tighten it down, and it moves the servo. That's good, guys. Stop right there. Stop. Don't go any further. No need to. No need to. So put those back in the magic box. This is why you don't throw anything away, guys. You never throw anything away. Never. Right. And I don't know how much time we have, fellas. I don't know how much time we've been on here because I've had to stop this thing twice. So we're gonna take a gander here. Just a second. I'm gonna stop this and I'm gonna look and see how much is used down there. Then I kind of have a a notion of what else I can do, because I have this all in here, and I don't have any more receivers, unfortunately, but I do have 2 receivers that aren't being used. They're in both my X-Maxes, and I do not foresee myself driving my X-Maxes. I might be actually trading one of my X-Maxes off to Big Boys Toys in Australia. My Australian brother, he's wanting to trade me a badass pan car, which if you don't know what that is, it's an 8-scale road course, blacktop road course car. These things are wicked sick. Loved them, ran them, raced them. They're just awesome. So we're probably going to work out something. You know, my X-Max is worth quite a bit of money, so I imagine there's going to be some hashing going on in the trade. But yeah, that's what we're looking at. You know, and the price it's going to cost me to ship this 30 plus pounds of X-Max to Australia. But anywho, I have 2 receivers that aren't being used, and with what I have coming Friday, hopefully, and this build, I'm going to need 2 receivers. If not, it's $36 to buy 2 more off Amazon. But really, guys, I don't want to spend any more money. I've spent so much money in the last couple of weeks, it's just stupid. So I gotta really mind my P's and Q's and make things work the way they're supposed to work, and just, you know, stop running to Amazon, that evil dark cesspool of an addiction. Amazon, they bring the shit right to your door. They're like crack dealers for RC guys. They're horrible. So anyway, look how sexy this is, guys. Look at that. Yeah, on that XL smoked gunmetal gray chassis with the black tranny, and now the linkage is hooked up with the blue tip on that, and servos are in place, steering linkage is in place. You know, I might even hook up that steering linkage now on the bottom. I can go ahead and do that. Might be able to line that up. But the only problem about doing what I just did with this and with that is I don't know where zero's at. So I still got to take all this apart, run power to the servos. Once they activate, I kill the power, then the servos will be on 0. Then you hook up your linkage when the servos are zeroed out. So all this is for nothing right now, guys, until I put a battery on a receiver and then hook this thing up, which I don't have right now. I do not have a receiver for it. And taking apart my X-Maxes is a chore by itself, because each X-Max, my X-Max takes up the whole table over here. You guys seen the last work table I was on? Yeah. Well, my X-Max is 35 and a half, it was 33 and 3/4 inches long, which is almost 3 foot long. It's 26 and a half inches wide, which is just stupid wide. It's too wide. It's too wide and too big to put on this table. Some of you guys know what an X-Max is, some of you don't. But the ones that don't, it's freaking huge. The tires are almost as big as my head. So, yeah, that's going to be a chore, just even taking those out and getting to the control box and unhooking everything, ESC, blah, 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 fans, and taking the receivers out. Because one of them's got to go in here, and one of them's got to go in the new kid coming Friday. Because the new kid coming Friday is going to be tits. Like I said, I've passed on it twice. I'm not passing on it 3 times. 3rd time, we snatched it up. Put the crank on it. So we can put this nice little servo. This is a 35 kilogram right here. Metal box. Look at that. Yeah. It's a cordless DS3235 SG 35 kilogram DS servo. Yeah, it's a bad rock right there too. It's got a little bit of a hum to it, but it's not bad. Not bad at all. So anywho, I guess we could try to hook the linkage up on the bottom. Let me check my time real quick, guys, and I'll be right back, okay? Because I know it's 12 o'clock here. Let me see how much I've used. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, we're back. According to that, I have roughly 8-10 minutes, and I'll be at my hour mark, which I'm going to try to make myself stick to this. That way I can stretch this project out over 2 or 3 videos. So I can chit chat, play with you guys a little bit, explain things to you, let you see the beautiness of this gorgeous XL coming together right here. Compliments of my buddy Nitro Addiction for hooking me up with the XL chassis and stuff like that during a trade, and so I didn't have to go buy it offline for 60, 70 bucks, whatever it cost. Yeah, I like this. This is gonna be sexy. And I never did it before because, guys, honestly, it's just 2 inches longer. That's all it is. And I have an extended chassis down there that's actually 4 mils thick. That's sexier than this, and it's only 1 inch longer. So actually, you know, the extended chassis one's pretty tight too, guys. I might end up I might end up putting that together along with this one. I might get to a certain point. I might get the motor in this and get the front and rear end in it and shelf it and just let it sit there. And I might pull up the extended chassis and start doing it all again and put that one together and put the last Dynamite 28 I have in it. Maybe. I have one Dynamite 28 left, which is no big deal. I'm going to order like 10 more because they're just bros and broettes. I'm sorry, but listen to the old man here. For $103 off Amazon or $105 off eBay, and you get a Dynamite 28, which is one of the best motors that you could stick in anything. Come on, guys. It's dumb not to buy them. Buy them all day. I don't care if you blow one up in the first, before you make it through a gallon, it's only $100. It ain't like paying $170 to $200 for, what is it, the LRP? Or PLR, whatever the hell it's called, that 32. It's better than that, you know, or it's better than the big red that everybody's having problems with. You'll never see a big red on this channel unless I come into one extremely cheap. And I mean, like literally, it better be half price, because the problems that people have with them and the Mach 2 that it used to be and then they ruined it, I don't want nothing to do with it. It's a waste of money. It's overrated, overhyped. It's just a waste of money. Anyhow. Let's see what we can do about this linkages on the bottom here real quick, since we only have a few minutes. Which means I need to dump all this back out again, or maybe just use this metal arm right here. This is what I used on, I used one of these on the Techno over there. Yeah, so the Ghost over there's got one of these in it. I don't know if I can get away with using one in here or not. I do not know. I do not know. Oh, look at that. Oh shit, guys, that sucker dropped on there like it was meant to frickin' be. You see that shit? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm about to start making little gurgly noises, guys. Yes, that's pretty close. I mean, it's not, but it is, because I mean, it's almost not long enough to where that'll work, but I'm gonna have to have something to come up through the bottom and fasten down in there. And what I don't like about these is these have the tightener bolts on the side that clamp down on the top of the servo. That's what I do not like about those, because there's no way to get it in there. There's no way for me to get in there and tighten these down from the side. It can't be done. Once that's on there, once this sits on here, I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but you see this? Let me see here. Where are we at? All right. That. Well, this part sets down on the horn like that. And then little screws go in the side right here, and they clamp down and pinch this down on the horn. But when you put this on here like that, it sits on there beautifully. But it's loose because these little bitty screws go in there to pinch it down on that servo horn. And there's no way to get a driver up in here to tighten this down, because your belt is in the way. So yeah, as sexy as that would be, guys, can't do it. So we might end up going the old-fashioned way with a plastic one, which is just perfectly fine by me, because I'm old-fashioned like that. I'm one of them guys, man. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we slap this Roger Dodger around here. After we cut off one end of it, we have to snip off the tail of it and make sure this is a 25, which I hope it is, because it does not say on here if it's a 25 or not, which is weird. I'm pretty sure it is. So let's see if we can snip this off, guys. Let's try. Let's try. Wow, did you guys see that? I about killed myself. Where's my dog at? Did it kill my dog? That sucker shot off there like a rocket, fellas. I know you've seen that. I'm glad I had that on camera. Holy shit, sons. You have to remember that. You got one of these in your pocket. Somebody's about to rob you. Yeah, pull it out and hit him with that. It'll slow him down. Alright. Oh, and it fits too, guys. Yippee. Yip fucking E right there. Now we can go old school. I like old school. Old school works for me. And right there, that's almost perfect. That's money. Right there in the second hole, fellas. That's money. Look at that sucker. That is perfect. Look, can you guys see that? That sucker's lined up, buddy. I mean, that thing's just plain sexy. That's just plain sexy. So now we run one of these screws down through here. Run one of these down through here. I can't remember what hole it went in. But no, seriously. It went in either the first or the second one, and it fit the best. Again. But yeah. Where's the screwdriver at? Right here. I think we were in that. Like that. Is where we were at. That's not quite it. Gotta go over one more. See where we're at, fellas. Let's see where we're at here. Right there. Is that it? That's close. Alright, we're sending it. Big deal. We have more of them over here if we have to tap another one. Okay, that's tight. And it's loose enough that it's going to float on there. And we are pretty close to being dead center right there. And we don't know where zero's at on that servo, so we're good right there. Look at that, boys. Oh, look at that. That ball right there is sexy, fellas. And it popped through the other end about an eighth of an inch, so click, we're good. Just like that. And if you wanted to be promo about it, you would pull the horn off. You'd get you probably an 1/8 inch drill bit, and you would drill through that hole, open that up, pull the horn off, pull this linkage off, run you a bolt through there with an Allen nut, which I have a whole box of them right here. You'd run your Allen bolt up from the bottom, put your nylon nut on it to lock it down, flip it back over, set it down on here. That'd be way better than having something screwed into a piece of plastic, because if you hit something hard enough with this sucker, and if your servo saver doesn't save it, or if your servo saver is too tight, yeah, it's going to be bad times. And what you guys can't see, but the horn, the arm going from the bell crank back to the servo horn is up at an angle. It's up like this because it's too high. Well, you can't really bring it down. We have horns that do bring it down and make it more level, make it more of a level plane. And I don't know where they're at, because I've had some of them and I don't know where they're at. I'm not really going to look for them. I'm not going to want to bender for these things, because to be honest, there's one right there. It's exactly what it is, exactly what I was talking about. I just pull one magically out of the bag. But you guys see that? You see how that's bent down? Let's see here. There. See how it's straight on this end? And then it dips down on the other end? That's for that reason. That's to lower that, so that linkage piece is more directly in line. And this is where you'd run one of those bolts up through here and put your nylon washer on the other end of it. Just like that. So, yeah. We'll have to play around with it, guys. We'll have to see if it's worth all the hassle or not. Because if it's not really worth the hassle, then OG's not going to do it. So anywho, let's see if we can find another little screw to fit down in there. Since this one's not as thick as the throttle linkage, that very first one that I had would probably work perfectly. So we're going to take all this and put it back in the bag for now, so we don't lose none of this. I should double bag this in case something rips, because these parts are so small. stuck there, man, and it went off like a 22. About to scream, man down, man hit, taking fire, medic. Yeah, there's that. Those are servo pieces. Now we're gonna get the big magnet out and we're gonna go fishing, just like this, fellas. Just like this. That's how you go fishing. And see, right there's one of those nylon nuts, and right there's one of them bolts. You got one of these bolts, one of these nylon nuts. That's about a 3/32 or a 1/16 of an inch thickness, and you just run that right up through that linkage part, and then boom, there you go. That might be our meal ticket right there, fellas. And where'd that shorty go? Did we have a shorty in here, fellas? That was too short for that job. Let's go fishing again. Yep, it was flat-headed and short, but we really don't need that. We can get by with this one right here, if it'll groove with it, which it should. Okay. Check this out first. Okay, it'll work. It's small enough, and I want to make sure it's fine thread. There, click, we're in all the way. Jackpot. Okay. Even though we probably just wasted our time doing that, we're probably going to go the other way, but we don't know for sure if we're going the other way or not. We'll have to find out, fellas. Because the other one's going to set up a little bit. And I don't know if I'd rather have it going down this way, or if I'd rather have it going down this way. Whichever's going to be the easiest on the servo and on the horn. Because right now, that's okay. But how much abuse is going to take is going to be the question. I'm done fishing. Put all our lures back. Washer. Bam. Right back into our miscellaneous misfit toy box, and all these little screws that we had out for the transmission and everything else can go back into their little box as soon as I find out where they go. Okay, just like that and like that, and up there like that. I don't care who you are, guys, you can only have so much of a messy workstation, and then you have to go, no, I gotta tidy up. Take five. So yeah, there's that. Put your fishing magnet back. Okay. Servos go back up here. Servo stuff. Our fuel tank will go back in the box for tomorrow. Close the lid on all of our hardware so we don't knock it off the table and get really pissed off because that happened. All right, boys, that was perfect timing. Like I said, I had about 10 minutes to go, and that was an hour. And I think I get like an hour and 2 minutes on my battery. My battery died right when I was getting ready to button that up. But anyway, take a couple minutes here and go over this. And beautiful servos are in there now, top and bottom. Linkage is hooked up, wires are run, waiting on a receiver and a battery. And this thing is money, ready to go. Zero these servos out, rehook this linkage back up, good to go. Throttle linkage is on, brake linkage is on, spur gears in, looking like a charm. Dual disc brakes on the bottom of this bad boy. That's going to be money. And let's see here. I don't think that's supposed to be. Yep. Gotta back that off a little bit. Loosen that brake arm up some. Look at that beautiful color, guys. And we went with the orange, so we're going to have the orange metal for the bulkheads. Got the orange servo saver in the front with the bell linkage. Engine plate is orange. Yeah. And we're going to have the silver and black shocks on this bad boy. So we're going to go with these shocks on it, which is going to set it off and make it look pretty good too. I think it looks really good. As much as I like to put red springs on this, I think I'm just going to dampen it down, or I might put big boards on it. And like I said, deadhead them on the inside. Either way, that's as good as we're going to get for tonight's episode, boys. Episode. And just for giggles, this bad rock's gonna be sitting in there just like that. Yeah, look at that money, man. It's a beast. It's the cooling head's almost as high as the grab bar. That big 32. But yep, that's exactly where it's going to go, and it's actually going to be sitting up higher than that, because I don't have the motor mount on it yet. So yeah, so it can be a little bit higher. It's going to be almost as high as the cab of the truck. So we're going to really figure out something to protect that bad boy, or it's going to be dust the first time I flip it over. But anywho, what do you guys think about this first build? The beast coming together, the gathering, episode 1. So we got all this done. It's looking good. And tomorrow we'll start working on the other parts of it, since I can't do anything more here. Tomorrow we'll probably put the engine together, we'll put the air filter on it, we'll get the mount on the bottom of it, we'll get the coupling on the back, we'll get the exhaust mounted to the side of the truck, and then more importantly we'll get the clutch, the flywheel, and the clutch bell and the clutch shoes and everything on here. We'll get this set up with that 19 tooth. I have a 19 tooth clutch bell that's going on here. Hardened steel, 1 mil, 19 tooth clutch bell. Give me one more tooth of speed compared to what Grubby Truck and the Problem have. If I could go down 2 teeth on this spur gear, if they made a 45, or if I had access to a 46 with this 19 tooth clutch bell, I think I could hurt somebody's feelings next year in the speed run. I think I'm already going to hurt a lot of people's feelings with it, but that'd be pretty cool. Anywho, guys, enough of that waffling about all that stuff. We'll be another hour. I wanted to be here an hour, and we've been like an hour and 10 minutes. So here we go. Episode 1 tomorrow. Like I said, we'll work on the engine, getting that mounted, getting this put together. Blah blah blah. We'll check out this linkage and stuff. We'll see how that's going to go. And then we'll start working on the front end and the rear end, getting the diffs built around the shock towers and the diff cases and stuff like that. I think I already have those together, don't I? Yes, I do. So all I gotta do is put the shock towers on them and get that hardware set up, get the dog bones in, get the end drives built, all that. And probably 2 more episodes, so it'll probably be 3-episode build. And I'm not sure what we're gonna call him yet. We gotta come up with a good name for him, but we're gonna call him something. I like the Beast, but he's gonna be something special. And about a 3 build series on him, and it'll be done. Anywho, if you guys stuck with me this long for an hour, you guys are probably liking that, because usually it's 2 or 3 hours or hour and a half. I'm pushing an hour and 15 minutes now, but if you guys stuck with me this long, I love, respect, greatly appreciate all you guys being here. Don't forget to slam that like button. Give this video a like, guys. The likes are more important. Like I've said in my last 2 issues, consider subscribing if you're not already a follower of the channel, guys, or tell your friends about me or whatever. I'm on Reddit now. I'm getting subscribers and people watching me on Reddit. I'm pushing everything through Facebook and, of course, through YouTube. So, anywho, I appreciate and love and respect all you guys for being here. Give me a like, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Consider it if you like what you've seen. If you didn't like what you've seen, give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs down, leave a comment. Don't leave a comment. I don't care. Just consider giving me a thumbs up for the video, guys, and subscribing if you haven't been here already. I'd greatly appreciate it. And OG from the Nitro Corner, from OG's Nitro Corner. I'll catch you guys probably tomorrow for build episode number 2. All right, fellas. Peace.